Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legend of Runeterra video. My name is Chris, and today we're going to talk about Jayce. So if you don't want to know about Jayce, or you want to stay spoiler free or whatever, then look away, click off the video, because we're going to spoil Jayce, who has already been leaked. I made a video about that yesterday with the leak. I'm pretty sure it was a leak and it wasn't meant to come out. I think it's possible that later today there could be a patch notes that, shows us Jayce really, and maybe a reveal video even. And it was meant to come out today, but they released it like a day early. That thing that they did, that little article, because they've changed the article and removed the whole Jayce part from it. But here is Jayce. For those of you who aren't sure yet, there is still some things we don't know. Thank you for doing this, by the way, Cucumber Jukebox. This is just like a custom card version of Jayce with the art that was provided. And this is what his abilities are. He's a 4-mana 4/4. Play, grant me quick attack or challenger. Level up, you've cast 2 6+ cost spells. When I level up, create an Ascension Gate in hand. This is kind of the part we don't know. We don't know what this is. We know that it helps wide boards finish the game. It could be something like giving them overwhelm or whatever, giving them buffs, stat buffs, something like that. We don't quite know though. And leveled up Jayce is a 4-mana 5/5, obviously. Still has the quick attack challenger thing. First time you play a 6+ cost spell each round, cast it again. And then, yeah, this is Ascension Gate where it's like, question mark? Who knows, right? So, that's what we know about Jayce. Obviously, we don't know what his signature spell is either. There are some things that are missing, but why do I think that Jayce is super exciting? Well, it's got really nothing to do with Jayce, the card itself. I mean, Jayce looks, fine as a card, having a 4-mana 4/4 that you can either give challenger or quick attack to. That's, quite nice. Copying spells, is quite good. So that's nice. But really what I'm excited about Jayce for is what he represents, because what he represents is that Riot is willing to go back and create champions that work with older synergies that maybe weren't that successful. For those of you who aren't aware, there is meant to be a 6+ mana synergy in this game, and there was from the start. And that was Heimerdinger Lux, was meant to be sort of, you cast things that cost 6 or plus mana. I'm pretty sure that's why Heimer's level up is the 12+ power of turrets. They wanted it to be 6 mana spells, obviously working with the idea of spell mana gives you 3. And then it's on turn 3, for instance, you could play one of your 6 mana spells that you have. I think that was the idea. That's why his level up is 12. That's why, they changed the elusive turret to be 6 mana turret, because they recognized later on that that was the good turret, and so making it 6 mana would make sense. So that's why Lux obviously is the 6+ mana spell thing. They also changed Flash of Brilliance, so obviously a Heimer card to create a random 6+ cost spell. That was the whole point of this thing, right? Was to do that and create 6+ mana spell synergy deck. It never quite came to fruition. There never was enough good 6+ mana spells, basically, to make it work. And there was maybe slightly better options for both Lux and Heimer as well. So it never really did work as a whole. But with that said, now Jayce is coming out, and so now there is more potential that will become a real archetype, particularly with Lux, as Lux just got a pretty significant buff, as did the 3-mana 3/4 that creates a 4 Demacia. So another card that is helping this whole archetype out with Vanguard Sergeant there as well. So it's likely that will become a deck with Jayce, and I assume he will come out with some 6+ mana cards. But to me, the exciting point, as I said, is that what this represents. This represents that Riot is making a champion to fit with older synergies that perhaps haven't quite worked out as well as they would have hoped. And what does that mean? Well, that means that in the future, we could see similar things with other archetypes. Maybe your favorite archetype is something like Nightfall, or maybe it's like Victor, or maybe it's, Predict with Echo, things like this. And to me, like probably the best example is something like Leona with Daybreak, because I've always thought that Daybreak could be good. Like the Daybreak package, is pretty strong. Like all the Daybreak cards are pretty strong cards, but there's no like clear finisher that you should use. And so it's always been a bit awkward. And if there was a second Daybreak champion that would, would finish the game, I'm sure that Daybreak would be pretty good. And, maybe in the future that means that there will be another Daybreak champion. And that to me is really exciting because it's a great way of making sure that some champions don't get left behind. Now, they just buffed Lux pretty significantly. She still wasn't, I don't think Lux is still like amazing or whatever, but she's definitely better than she was before. And that to me is very exciting that, now there's going to be even more support added to Lux, because I think there's quite a few different champions in the game that are just lacking extra support. I think particularly the foundation champions, could use with some just like good cards, newer, good, shiny cards that could, help push them over the edge, where the champion might be fine itself, but they need more support. Another good example would be Yasuo, right? Yasuo is a 4-mana 4/4 with quick attack. That's really good. Who has an ability to deal damage and potentially kill units. That's pretty good. But Yasuo lacks a great part in that he doesn't have enough good stun cards. If there was another Yasuo, I mean, maybe Yone will come out and have a very similar type deal. I don't know. But, if that was the case, and for instance, they brought out Yone and he synergized really well with Yasuo and was basically like a second Yasuo that you could have, that would be really exciting, and Yasuo would probably then be, decent enough to see play. And that's what I think is exciting about this whole Jayce thing, is the fact that they've, shown the capabilities of doing that. Now, it does have to be said that this is obviously an event card. Jayce is coming out on his own. He's not coming out with any other synergies, whereas in a normal expansion, of course, they pair the champions from that expansion together. Which obviously means that, this sort of champion that helps out older archetypes probably won't come that often. But it does show that they are willing to do that, and that to me is quite interesting. We kind of saw it with Aphelios, I guess. Aphelios is another champion that says Nightfall on him. Obviously didn't quite fit within the whole Nightfall framework, but I guess that sort of counts. And then we saw Akshan and Viego, who are kind of standalone. They don't feel as, tied to older things. I mean, they can tie to older things. Akshan could fit with Riven or plenty of other things, really. Akshan's very flexible. And so Viego could fit with a lot of things as well. But it wasn't like tied to, I'm going to make these champions specifically better. It felt like those two champions were kind of just like, these two cards to see what you kind of want to do with them. But I'm excited for the fact that it means that, we will probably get champions one day that, help out these archetypes that, haven't seen much help. And I'm sure that you who know more about League than I do, can probably pick out a champion or two and go like, they would do really well with this champion and help this champion in a big way. And I think that that's really exciting. And yeah, that's all I have to say, really. So thank you so much for watching. We might get a post about Jayce today, a full reveal. If we do, obviously I'll be making a video about that, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. Have a really nice day.